We are live. All right, let me go grab, and then we'll do the tweet thing that we do.
Yep.
And then we'll go live. No, we are live. Excuse me.
It always takes me a couple seconds extra because I have to do it from 2 accounts.
Boom, boom. To you. Now I'm going to text. Me and Dylan. Happy hours. All right, give me 1 second, then we'll get going. All right, I got mine sent. I tagged you in it, Dylan.
Awesome. Give me probably 1 more minute. I'm having some technical difficulties on my end.
No, you're good. You're good. Zach just put in the group chat, in the Knowles 24/7 group chat, that apparently Zach just wrote this, Dylan, because we were just talking about it. But he goes, so apparently Gain Street Pies didn't actually sign an NIL deal with all the players.
No.
I go, it's fake news. Taping Big Man with Dylan now. We're addressing the controversy.
Pizzagate.
Pizzagate. I love it.
I'm giving yours a retweet right now. Man, 2 accounts. Tough business to be in.
Where's your interns?
You're probably in class right now. Usually Delaney would send it out for me, but Delaney is doing law school things right now, so I can't push her too hard, you know.
All right. So yeah, we will be addressing Pizzagate.
People are talking.
You gotta clear the air. There's some confusion. We're gonna tackle the controversy head on.
Mm-hmm.
See, Zach knows there's pizza controversy out here in these streets. And due to NIL, you can just address the rumors on your own platform. I mean,
Yeah, it's nice. We don't have to wait till a press conference.
this is what NIL is about.
Exactly.
You know it, Zach.
hmm
We don't leave any controversy behind.
There could have already been a Pizzagate. It's not that creative of a term.
There could have been, but this one,
yeah,
we are going to tackle this
significance. Mm-hmm.
This is the first real controversy surrounding Big Man, Big Heart. So
yeah, this could be the biggest story of your career, Josh.
The one that gets me to go viral.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not that big of a deal.
No, it's not.
Just terminology.
We're just practicing like how to hype up a podcast. You know, it's called a tease.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Episode 20. All right,
let's do it.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Big Man, Big Heart with Dillan Gibbons. I'm your host, Josh Newberg. This is episode 20. We're coming to you on a Friday evening, happy hour-ish. We're also live on YouTube right now, so if you're watching, cheers. Dillan, welcome to the show. How are you feeling?
That's a lot of episodes. 20 is a pretty big number. I'm just happy to be here. Again, happy to have another week in the books. Look at us. We're already back here on early Friday, getting ready to start a great weekend and moving into another great work week.
Do you get a weekend or are all 7 days? Like, do you train tomorrow? Tomorrow's Saturday. So do you train them?
Not necessarily going to be training, more or less just getting on top of things, my body. Our trainers are nice enough to give us a little bit of their time on the weekends, enough to at least get in there, get some treatment, get some physical therapy done, and head on and enjoy the weekend. For me, of course, I'm always trying to be proactive in my academics. So I spend most of the weekend just trying to get ahead of my schoolwork. So it's one less thing to worry about come crunch time.
But you're coming out of a busy exam week, right? Does it feel like you're out of it or are you still in it?
No, I'm still recovering mentally, of course. Physically, the week went well, but on a mental side, definitely slightly draining. But I'm used to it. It's not necessarily as rigorous as what I experienced at Notre Dame. But at the same time, I'm the type of person that obsesses over the smallest details. Mm-hmm. So even if I did study adequately in one way, I have to study adequately in 3 different ways, just to have all the bases covered, just in case there was some type of adversity on the test or the exam or whatever I'm doing. So
right, that's good. Those are wise words.
Yeah. No, it's I've learned a lot of different ways to study, right? And I utilize digital and physical. Like, here's just some of my notes. Like, even if I take notes on my iPad, I rewrite them just on hand. I'm just kind of a psychopath in that type of manner. Just in writing note cards and doing as much reading as I possibly can. But I did well on the exams. Got through the week, and I'm moving on to a great weekend. I have a couple of big projects coming up in the same classes. So it's going to be a good work weekend. Meeting with some of my groups and getting after it.
Let's rewind to last weekend because you were on the road. You went to Philadelphia. I know you had a crazy week, so it probably feels like it's been a month ago, but a week ago at this time, you were heading to Philadelphia. So talk about what you were there for, how it went, and what your experience was like.
Yeah, so I was invited up to Philly because I was selected to be part of the Uplifting Athletes Rare Disease Championship team. I've dealt with uplifting athletes for the past 5 years, my whole college career in some capacity, right? Never had a direct association with them, but we've had different representatives on the teams I was a part of. Bottom line, got invited up there, got to have a wonderful trip. My whole family came up with me. I drove down to Tampa. We flew out to Tampa all the way over to Philly. Wasn't too shabby. They put us up in a really nice hotel right in between the Naval Yard and there where Philly Stadium is. So it was absolutely a great experience. The Naval Yard was absolutely crazy. I've never seen a aircraft carrier up that close before. But bottom line, so the hotel right behind it was basically the whole Navy Yard, right? And they rent out a lot of those different buildings inside of there to different organizations. So odd enough, actually Urban Outfitters has their headquarters right there, which I would have never expected. We were just driving back there. Mm-hmm. And right behind Urban Outfitters, their headquarters, was an aircraft carrier. Probably from the Vietnam era, I'd imagine. It was definitely seen better days. It's definitely decommissioned, but it was parked right back there, still floating. So it's absolutely awesome to see. Snap some great photos. I know my dad shared those, but for the most part, great experience with my family. Had a great time during the award ceremony. Ate a cheesesteak. Saw Liberty Bell.
How was the
went up the
cheesesteak?
stairs. What'd you say?
How was the cheesesteak? Did it live
It
up to
was
the
pretty
hype?
good.
What's your thoughts on it? How did you get it?
It was pretty good. I actually had it both, at least recommended ways, of course, with the provolone, and then one with the actual cheese whiz. So it was pretty delicious. Again, it was pretty cold outside, even though it didn't snow much. That winter storm was kind of moving in, at least closer to Philly while we were there. So Timothy and his family were actually going to meet us in Philly. And I was going to have Timothy accept the award because it was a little bit tough for me to accept that, right? Like I didn't do any of this to accept an award, to go up there on stage and have people cheer for me. I really wanted Timothy to experience that. So luckily we had him and we recorded everything for him. There's actually a live link. But the Donovan family actually got snowed in Ohio.
Yeah, I imagine.
I guess Ohio doesn't do a great job of plowing their freeways. But I don't know. I felt really bad for them, but still, it was a good weekend. Definitely a lot of travel. But at the same time, I wouldn't have traded it for anything.
Awesome, man. That's good to hear. Let's roll that right into the latest with Big Man, Big Heart. I know you've been planning this fishing trip. We're getting closer to the date for that, right?
Yep. So we're actually planning for April 30th. I confirmed with the Florida FWC earlier this week before I started studying for my exams that is going to be the date. It's actually pretty. We had to kind of space it out a little bit, like I think it's about 2 weeks from the initial date we planned, just because it is going to be turkey season here in Florida, and we don't really want to get the kids mixed up with people hunting for turkeys over there at Joe Bud Park. So that's the date we're looking for. I'm actually contacted Joe Bud Park, and we scheduled everything out. So there's actually a pond on premises that's meant for more like youth fishing events, right? So it's actually an overstocked pond. So each kid's going to be able to have the opportunity to hopefully catch a fish.
Yeah, like shooting fish in a barrel.
Right, because it is going to be a fun event. So if a kid doesn't catch fish, they're still probably going to have some fun, right? There's going to be different activities, fun things to see, like an alligator. There's going to be boats. There's going to be all the different things provided by the FWC, by Camping World, and by Bass Pro. But at the end of the day, if they don't necessarily catch a fish, they'll still have fun. So we're really looking forward to that event. Still putting together all the packages and trying to reach out to as many people in the community here to try to support those kids in this effort. Because again, it's going to be a great event, right? The fishing side of things is going to be great, but we'd like to send these kids home with as much as possible, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be fishing related, right? This is going to be a big event. It's going to bring in a lot of people from the community. Probably about 40 football players from Florida State, probably about 50 officers from all different walks of life, whether it be FWC, Capitol Police, the bomb squad. There's going to be all different types of people there. So it's going to be a great event to be able to put together. Hopefully it'll be around 150 people in total. I'm going to have it wonderfully catered. Still working out the logistics of catering for that many people, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't trade this experience for anything else I could possibly do with my time. So I'm just so glad to be able to help put this together. My family's been helping me out with a lot of this. So have my interns here in Tallahassee. But again, just very excited to be able to put these people in the correct place at the right time to hopefully give them experience they're going to remember forever.
Yeah, and they are. And it sounds like it's going to be great. We'll keep everybody updated on that. Something else that's coming up real soon is your bourbon giveaway.
Yeah.
Your collab with Bourbon on a Budget is still going down. Where does that all stand? Tell the people how they can get a raffle ticket and what's going on.
Yeah, let me pull up the Shopify real quick.
Yeah. I know we've been talking about it in the spaces. I think you might get on with Brendan on OTB here soon and maybe take a little something.
So that's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to announce this bourbon giveaway on Valentine's Day. Hopefully either on spaces, on the podcast itself when it gets released, and definitely on social media. If you do win, you're going to hear about it some way. I'm going to find you. We're going to convey to you that you won whichever bottle it might be for the exact raffle. So basically we've had about 80 orders so far. It's been absolutely extremely helpful to be on spaces, to have this podcast, to have these wonderful platforms to be able to share the mission of Big Man, Big Heart, which of course is empowering other student athletes to do good with their name, image, likeness, but also to make as much impact as I can on the Tallahassee community while I'm still here, and all over the state of Florida, right? Back home in St. Pete, back home in Tampa. So I'm just so excited to be able to share an experience, a small prize, right, for a donation. So again, every single raffle ticket you buy, the proceeds from that are going directly to Big Man, Big Heart, to help support the mission. So we've done a number of things on Twitter, right? Been on Spaces, done on the podcast, and from that we've gotten about 80 tickets sold. So please, if anyone is listening to this today, or even on Spaces whenever I get on there with Josh, please consider making a donation and potentially getting a really good bottle of bourbon.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to tweet out the Shopify link right now, so people can. Here's the link, so people can tune in.
Yeah, and if people haven't heard, it's basically it's gonna be a bottle of Blanton's, right? A bottle of it's a Weller 12, and then a bottle of Pappy, the Pappy 10. So old Rip Van Winkle 10. So it's a great prize package. We're really looking forward to be able to give those away. And it's coming up here pretty soon. So if you haven't bought a ticket, please consider.
All right. Tweet is sent. That's going good. So that'll be a Valentine's Day giveaway. Now, let's get to the portion of the show where we address the controversy. This week, you tweeted out a photo. Who tweeted out a photo?
No, sir. I believe Gang Street Pies put a photo up on their Instagram.
You and the big guys, all the offensive line, had pizza night at Gain Street Pies up there in Tallahassee, and there's some confusion. There's no controversy at all, but there was some confusion. Let's call it confusion.
Nothing crazy. It's not like really even that confusing. Just interpretation, right? So the bottom line, so back at Notre Dame, and I know I say that a lot, but Notre Dame's a great example of an effective culture, right? Especially in the offensive line room. So from my experience there was a tradition of having pizza night every Thursday night during season and some off-season type events around pizza or whatever it might be, eating burgers. It could be a whole host of things. But it's a creative way to get the guys together, especially on a Thursday, the night before you really pack up and you get going, because we leave on Fridays for the most part. So it's a great night of the week to get the boys together, right? Get the whole line together in a different space away from the locker room, having casual conversations, getting to know each other, just one step in the right direction, right? So when I transferred from Notre Dame to Florida State, there really wasn't anything like that going on. The only really group events I really heard of or places for them, everyone to hang out was either after a game, going out or even in the off season, going to certain restaurants at certain times of the year. So I really wanted to put something together for pizza night this year. So what I ended up doing is working with Momo's. So we ended up going there every Thursday night. For the most part, I ended up paying completely out of pocket for all the pizzas, which it wasn't a crazy amount of money. I would have paid anything to get our guys together to help build that culture and help build that bond. But again, it wasn't ideal to be able to have to be paying for it every single week. It was money coming out of my pocket, and wasn't necessarily the greatest thing in the world and greatest feeling. But at the same time, it was absolutely awesome to get the guys together every week. So for this year, I wanted to start early, right? And Gain Street Pies helped me out on an initiative when we did around Christmas. They actually donated, it was close to 60 pizzas to give away to families around the Tallahassee community when we did the event for the Boys and Girls Club here in Tallahassee around Shop with the Player. So they donated a bunch of pies. So in conversation, I was like, hey, how would you like if I could bring the whole offensive line, some of the D linemen, the quarterbacks, bring a bunch of guys here, and hopefully be able to work out some type of deal, right? Hopefully for season. Mm-hmm. So with all that being said, we had a great experience about 2 weeks ago at Gain Street Pies. I had some of the best pizza I've had in a while, right? In Tallahassee, definitely, but just in general with some good stuff. And ended up having a really good couple hours at Gain Street Pies. So being back and forth for the past couple of weeks with Bobby and a few other people from Gain Street Pies, I've been able to work out a deal for the offensive line, right? For me to be able to get a certain number of pizzas per week next season. And then Sweet. We're working on some things for the off season. So Gain Street Pies, what was put up was Gain Street Pies signed all the offensive line, right? Every offensive lineman. They signed me. So right now we're working, haven't necessarily put pen to paper yet, but definitely working towards a deal because I love their food. I love the ambiance, and I absolutely love the management there. So they're doing some really special things at Gain Street Pies, and I look forward to being able to bring all the boys there and hopefully have a good time. It's located right here in Tallahassee, right in downtown, so it's in between where a lot of guys live. So
Right.
it's a nice central location, and at the end of the day, it was some pretty good pizza. So I'm happy to work with them.
Congrats, and glad we could clarify that. This weekend, or before we get into Super Bowl talk, I've been beating the drum a lot on FSU Spaces about NIL and the legislation. And after I played a clip from Chris Sproul's, the Speaker of the House, it kind of ratcheted up the talk. And I know it doesn't seem as likely now that this amendment is going to get passed. When we had Chip Lamarca on prior to that, when you and I were talking, it seemed like it was just a matter of time until this got amended and everything worked out. And you were going to hang out at the Capitol as more of like a handshake and a photo, but things have changed. It's become real. Like, this might not get passed. Chris Sprouse has come out and said some things that doesn't lead to a lot of optimism that the amendment is going to happen this spring. So
yeah,
I know you've been vocal again on Twitter. I continue to press the issue on Spaces. So what's your thoughts on what's been happening in the last week or two?
Yeah. So again, I don't have too harsh of an opinion on this. I'm a college athlete. I understand the business name, image, and likeness. I said this last week. My brother, Riley Gibbons, is probably one of the most informed attorneys in the state of Florida around name, image, likeness. He played football at Stanford, ended up going to law school at Notre Dame, and throughout his 3 years at Notre Dame, it's one of the key issues that he focused on, at least in his free time, away from the standard curriculum. For me, my opinion is that, of course, this needs to be passed. It needs to be passed now. It should have been passed a long time ago, right? But you can't have that kind of foresight, at least when you're putting legislation into action, right? When you're initially trying to launch name, image, likeness in the state of Florida, right? It's really tough to have that kind of foresight that other states aren't just going to jump on board, that there isn't going to be some big national power that regulates the whole business. Name, image, likeness is a multi-million-dollar business, right? And if you're talking to state by state, if that's what's going to happen and states are going to continue to regulate what's happening, you got to imagine there has to be a lobbying group. There has to be amendments that are continuing to be made, right, throughout this process. This isn't going to be something straightforward. We're going to continue to have this fight for years and years to come, right? And it's going to be an effort that's going to need to be lobbied for, right? People are going to actually put time, money, and effort into getting these different amendments passed because we're on an unequal playing field. And that's not just talking about recruiting, right? It's nothing. Recruiting is a major part of it, and we have a lot of coaches talking about the benefits of recruiting. And I'm sure specific coaches here in the state of Florida are trying to do their best to lobby to talk about recruiting and retaining recruits here in the state of Florida. I'm not necessarily worried about that. I'd absolutely love to get some high tier players here at Florida State. Continue the legacy, build up the program. But I am worried. I'm worried about the strength of what's actually happening right now. The lack of institutional involvement in name, image, and likeness. It's just kind of crazy to think that kid coming out of high school has autonomy over his business decisions, especially when his value isn't really stated yet, right? And he could be a freak athlete. He could be whoever you want him to be. He could be Chase Claypool, You never know what these kids are going to sign, especially with the lack of financial literacy coming straight out of high school and maybe not even a lot of people in their back pocket that they trust that could go over these contracts. So until we can secure name, image, and likeness, right, by utilizing universities, by utilizing their resources, their capital, our coach's opinion, I don't think we'll be safe. So again, the recruiting side of it's great. You can point to a few different schools, a few different states. Jackson State, of course, is the one in the limelight all the time. But I really think that the amendments being made, right, in House Bill 939 are essential to be put in place, at least, and hopefully my last season competition, right? It'd be great to be able to reap the benefits. But I just think it's essential, right, to regulate the space for the benefit of the student athletes. The last point I'll give you, and this is really why I come into the conversation, right? Because no one really cares about my opinion. I'm a kid, right? I'm still in college. I'm in grad school, but still. The only reason why anyone should care about my opinion is because of what I've been able to do through Big Man, Big Heart. and being able to raise about $200,000, a little bit over now, for people in need through name, image, and likeness in a very short period of time. You know, just thinking about what my whole story has been. Just imagine how much more I could have done. Right, not only in raising money and changing lives and inspiring others to do the same, but what more I could offer to the university if they were allowed to have more direct, active involvement in Big Man, Big Heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I've been doing most of this myself, right? My family's wrapped their arms around me. They're all attorneys, so they helped me throughout the process. I brought on 2 interns starting the beginning of this year. They've all helped me through this a lot, but it's been very time consuming, very stressful. But at the end of the day, like this is my passion. This is why I wake up in the morning. I wake up in the morning and I feel great about all the work I do. But just imagine what I could have accomplished and what I could continue to accomplish if this bill was passed, right? If these amendments were passed and House Bill 939 became actual legislation here in the state of Florida. You know, right. If the university, if someone from government affairs or someone from just football, one of my coaches could donate to Big Man, Big Heart, you know, could potentially find somebody that would like to donate. It'd just be absolutely incredible. I know that is sort of the selfish part, but I'm not partaking in the selfish business. I'm not asking for a new car. I'm not asking for a new pair of shoes. I'm asking to try to make as much impact as I possibly can while I'm still here in Tallahassee.
All right. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I've been talking in touch with some high-ranking government officials, and, there's also the chance that the bill could be completely repealed, completely dropped. And I think that could put Florida back on the same playing field as the other states. It's not the amendment, but still kind of get the same results, at least in the short term. So we'll see how this plays out, but we'll keep talking about it here on Big Man, Big Heart. And, if you need to get back on the spaces, you got a platform to speak. We are talking NIL almost every day, whether it be, there's kind of 2 sides to it. There's the legal side, and then also, the private side, or the other side where Florida State has the Rising Spear, and some of the things that they're doing there. So we're talking about it. It's being talked about, and hopefully we see some changes.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be some changes in either direction, right? And there are a few good possibilities that could happen. But at the end of the day, that's up in the air right now. But I do look forward. And again, I'm also having those sort of conversations with different individuals. And I hope to be able to share my story and give certain individuals and high-ranking officials inside the government here in the state of Florida, even nationally, just more of a story of what name, image, likeness could be, right? And how it could be used, and of how much positive it could bring, right? It's not all the selfish interest. It's not all the underwear and sports car deals. It's some serious stuff that generally needs to be talked about and people need to be informed of.
All right. This weekend, before we wrap up, let's talk about the Super Bowl. Most importantly, what are you eating this weekend? Do you have a menu? Are you cooking out? Do you have any plans for Super Bowl?
Man, I actually just got a text from my fiance. I got to see her last weekend up in Philly. She took a train in from New York City, which was absolutely awesome, right? But so she's right now actually on the trading floor at Goldman Sachs. She called me, and she's actually coming to Tallahassee, like in the next couple hours. Oh. So my plans have changed up a little bit. I was just going to lounge around, maybe order some Buffalo Wild Wings. I've been seeing a lot of ads from them lately. Haven't had some in a while. But now I'm going to have to put together some plans, right? And my fiance makes absolutely wonderful Italian food. So hopefully I'll get a caprese salad and maybe something Parmesan. It's going to be a great weekend. I look forward to spending some time with her. I know my family's back home, and they're going to have a good get together. Definitely make some wonderful foods. My mom always does a great job in putting together a lot of different options. I look forward to spending some time with my fiance this weekend.
Beautiful. As far as the game goes, do you have a rooting interest?
Not too much of a rooting interest, if I'm being honest. Who are you going for, Josh?
I'm going for the Bengals. Shout out Auden Tate. All Knowles deserve rings. I know Auden Tate is injured. Maybe Jaquez Patrick's on there too, but Auden Tate is on there. He was on Team Tampa 7-on-7. So I'm going for the Bengals. I got an uncle from Cincinnati. My parents are from Ohio, but they're from Cleveland. So, I've kind of always been a little partial to the Ohio teams, but
yeah.
Also Joe Burrow's really exciting. So,
yeah, it's always exciting. I absolutely love the Super Bowl. Is awesome. I know everyone loves watching the Super Bowl. Did you know that the Super Bowl is actually per family in the United States, it's actually the second largest basically holiday for families to get together and eat meals together.
I believe that.
Like even like the first one, of course, Thanksgiving. But I would have thought the second one would have been Christmas or Easter, right?
But it's because the game doesn't start at damn 8:30 p.m. That's what happens when you start a game at a reasonable hour. Like families get together and they celebrate and they can hang out. You start a game that halftime's 10 p.m. Like, you can't have families hanging out till then. You watch the game in your bed.
That is pretty tough. Yeah.
All right. So
this tour duty's been going good too, just so everybody knows. I know Danny C in the chat was talking about the puke percentage of tour duty. I don't really notice that too much. I'm sure a little bit of that happens, right? And it's a given. People roll around. Right now, we're moving into the second phase of the development until we get to spring ball. Second phase basically consists of two days a week we do tour duty, right? We do tour duty for about half the workout. The other half is
you froze. Come back to us. Come on back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back. All right.
Okay.
Let's go. You were about to say the second part.
Yeah, so the second half is like a little bit of football-specific movements, basically. It's still conditioning, at least considered to be conditioning. But it's great to have a little bit of interaction with the coaches. We have meetings and things like that in the afternoon, small walkthroughs. But it's been great. I've been spending a lot more time at football facilities during the day. Again, it's been a great process so far. Our team's really doing a great job developing. Having more specific football movements is exciting to me, right? Because we're getting closer to football. And I absolutely love the game, and I love playing it. So it's some exciting times, especially when you start getting back into the drills and stuff that you do pre-camp, as you're warming up for the season. So I'm just excited to play some football. I'm excited to build that continuity with my offensive line. We have a lot of great players here at Florida State. And I don't think that's necessarily something you could have said for the past couple of years, right? We have depth. We have a lot of guys that can play football. They take not only snaps, not only just people playing snaps, people can take meaningful reps, right?
Right.
So I'm excited to be part of this team. I'm excited to get some reps of those key individuals and that the starting group. It's going to be awesome to see how it comes together. But yeah, everyone's looking great. Everyone's doing good. And that's my little update for tour duty.
Awesome. Well, we're going to give some shout outs, and I definitely want to shout out Derek Hansen. Derek Hansen's in the group chat, Dylan. He bought 5 more tickets to win that Pappy. So
yeah, I appreciate Derek. That. I'll definitely note your name.
What else do you got? Any other shout outs before we get out of here?
Brady Scott keeps texting me. Brady Scott, he's off line from last year. He's a 5th-year senior. He said I better win that Pappy. So I already had to mark him off the list. You can't win. It'd be too easy at that point.
Yeah, it's a donation, bud.
Exactly.
All right. Well, the giveaway will be on Monday, so get your tickets. This podcast is being taped on Friday. I'll get it out tonight or tomorrow morning. We will be back next week. Yeah.
Yep, I'd like to take one moment to thank our sponsor for this podcast. So it's Good Sam. And again, I have a wonderful relationship with them. They provided everything our viewers need to have a good trip. I'm very excited to announce some of the things we'll be doing together here pretty soon. So Good Sam's Be Good, Do Good charity over the past year have done some great things in the communities around the state of Florida, basically around the whole U.S. From all different walks of life. So different things they've done. So they did an event around cystic fibrosis, and even one, I think it was around building horse stalls for animal rescue farms. So it's everything. They do like a whole bunch of these. I don't know if you've heard of them before, but they pop up all over the country throughout the year. So Good Sam's partnered with Big Man Big Heart to help support my own charitable initiatives and some of the upcoming projects that we're doing. We've got plenty of plans for exciting activations and things that we're working on, so we can get started with this relationship. To find out more and to stay in the loop about the Be Good, Do Good events, please visit goodsam.com. So I can't thank them enough, and I look forward to being able to announce some of the cool things we'll be doing and partnering and collaborating together as we move closer and closer to the season.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you, Dillan, and thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week.
Yep. Look forward